What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Underground Stars Season 3. And today I am here with...
Rich Illuminati.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Xander, how you doing, man?
Good. A few things before we start. I got two things to say. First of all, shout out New Lyrics. He sent me over this shirt right here. Kind of fire.
Ooh.
Kind of fire.
It looks like a banana with a
It
with a
does.
zipper mouth.
It's cool. I like
That's
it.
pretty
I
sick.
think, I don't know
Reminds me of
what...
Fortnite. It's a moon.
Yeah. I don't know
It
what
reminds me of Fortnite,
exactly
though.
it is. But
Respect the drip.
he...
Shout out Primitive. They're
Shout
fire.
out Primitive. Yes, sir. Let me get that check. And then also, these should be up by the time this episode goes up. But if you head over to the Underground Stars website, undergroundstars.com/merch, you can cop one of our brand new Underground Stars stickers. They're only $2, free shipping. In the U.S., it's like $1 shipping for worldwide. But make sure you go check that out. And yeah, so let's get this started. I got a few things written out already, just in case we kind of get stuck. But let's start off with the easiest question. How did you kind of start getting into music, producing, and everything?
To be completely honest, I wasn't really that into music until like I got into high school, and then I started listening to different genres of music, from anything from like what my mom was showing me, which was like she was listening to like Andrea Bocelli, if you know who that is, for opera, Italian like opera singers and stuff like that, Josh Groban. And then my grandma would listen to classical, so I listened to that. And my dad would like listen to oldies and country. And then when I got into high school is when I started listening to like top Billboard and like hip hop. And then I think when my ninth grade Baby came out, and I was like, damn, that was hot. It was a hot song. And I graduated high school, so I was like listening to music, and I wasn't really influenced by music. It was something that was cool. And then when I got out of high school, and I started listening to like one of my homies that I started hanging out with back when was like Rich Gang, and like Birdman and Young Thug and stuff like that. So that's what like started getting me into it, and that's when like Kendrick Lamar released his Good Kid, Mad City. We would bump that.
Yeah.
Tyler the Creator, and that's when I started getting into music. I was like, "Yo, this stuff is hard." And I think I started like bugging my friends or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, do you hear like that certain sound or like that pattern? Like that was cool." And they're basically like, "Shut up! Like just like if you
Just
like
listen.
it, just do it. Like make it, like recreate it if you like it so much." So that's what I did. And that's how I caught on to like the whole SoundCloud wave.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's seeming like these people who are just like learning how to make beats, and they're becoming superstars like overnight. Like that's what I wanted. Like that was the dream. But I was young and I was naive, so like from then until now, like I definitely understand. There was a lot more to it, a lot of sacrifice that came with that, and yeah, I wanted to quit many times.
Yeah. Which, I mean, realistically, who doesn't? Like, there's
Yeah.
always... If you're not to the point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, I feel like you're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Like,
And
as
yeah,
much
like,
as it's kind of weird and, like, it doesn't kind of make sense, but if you don't want to quit something, then I don't think that's, like, you're putting enough work into it. Because if it's not hard, then, like, it's not... There's no real reason to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think yeah, and for my personal opinion, I totally feel that, because there was a couple times where I thought to myself like, this is it, like I quit, but then I ended up going back to music. So like I wasn't quitting at all. It was just my mind believe like forcing myself to like take a step back and take a break, which you should take a break, or you should I mean, sometimes after trial and error in my experiences, where like I would have to like take like a break and then come back like after a week, or like my longest break was like 6 months at one time. And like I came back like better than ever, because I
Yeah.
felt inspired. But then again, you know, you have to learn how to keep it going consistently and keep yourself entertained, because those breaks is because like you just hit a rut, and you've hit a rut before where you just feel uninspired. You know, you're like, maybe I just need to go do something else and I'll come back. But you know, you come back like 2 weeks later and you're like,
Yeah.
damn, you know, I always saw that time. So it's just trial and error in that case. But yeah, man, like you just gotta find a system or rhythm that works best for you. Know your limits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that because I today usually like on a daily basis I try and make 4 beats and 4 loops, and today I made like 3 loops, and my third loop was crazy. Like it was probably like my best one I've made today. And after that, I'm like, okay, I tried making like 2 more, but nothing came out. Like I was just so just tired,
Drain. Yeah.
and I was like, bro, I made only 3 loops. How am I already drained? But then I like kind of took a break, ate some dinner, um, rearranged my desk and some other stuff, and then I sat back down and then pumped out another loop easily, just because I took a small break.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, again, everybody else is different, so everybody's needs they have to understand their own needs. But
Mhm.
like, yeah, man. In those times, like from when I had the original thought of why, or the original, when I had the original, made the original goal of why, the reason why I was doing music at first was to get rich.
Mhm.
Like I was young, I was very naive, so I was like, yo, like they're getting rich like overnight. Like this shit seems, oh, excuse my language, but they it seems easy. It seems easy to do, but like it's not really, it's not that easy. Like it's just
Mhm.
something that, you know, works faster for some people versus there's people like me, like I've been doing producing for about this is my fifth about fifth year doing
Mhm.
music, and I only started actually getting good at it, where my opinion being like good quality, good progression, overall
Mhm.
good sound, like the beginning of last year,
Yeah.
you know, after 3.5 years of doing it. So
Mhm.
it's sometimes it can be the waiting game. All I can say is just you have to have like self perseverance in terms of like if you're gonna do something, stick with it and make sure that you do it. I mean, and then there comes a certain amount of time where like you have to understand, or you have to reassess and ask yourself questions, like, and go back to the original questions versus the question you have now. Okay, so now I'm here. Why am I doing music?
Mhm.
Has my original goal changed, or do I have new expectations? Like, what's the situation for that? And then you have to do another reassess and decide right then and there, like, okay, so now is it worth it of me going, forth, or do I just need to kind of, put it on the back burners and start something else and kind of come back to it as like more of a hobby versus
Mhm.
something that I could foresee myself being a career and working full time on.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I mean, and then I had that epiphany like the beginning of last year, and then I just went hard. I mean,
Mhm.
I went so hard last year that I burned myself out. So coming to the end of the year, like I have I have all eyes on me type of situation, and I just kind of like go back into the shadows because I burned myself out, and I just I need to take a break. And now like I'm trying to come back into, the area where it's the mainstream,
Mhm.
or the main population in terms of like engagement, stuff like that. And I'm coming back, but like it's hard because once you don't have kind of like that mojo
Mhm.
of momentum, it's kind of hard to gain the momentum, the traction again.
Yeah.
It sucks. And
And
that's kind of like
especially
where I'm
on
at.
mhm. And especially on like social media, if you don't like keep up with it, it's so easy
It'll
to
forget you.
lose like your engagement, your following and everything just because they're not used to seeing you on like their timeline, on their Instagram feed. That when you do pop up, it's not like everyone's seeing it. It's only like only a select few at that time.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, in case, I mean, a situation where I just posted like this tweet, or either earlier, I think it was early today or yesterday, where it was just talking about like a situation I had with an artist, and he
Mhm.
wanted to charge me. I was like, hey, do you need beats? But I didn't go in there and be like, hey, generically, do you need beats? I'm like, hey, man, like, I checked out your stuff, and
Mhm.
you want to engage with them. So anyway, so I had this instance where I basically asked him if he wanted needing beats. He's like, "Hey man, I charge $100 a feature," and I was like, "Okay, well, in my sense, like in terms of your follower count, he didn't really have a very substantial amount of follower count for me
Mhm.
to advise. Like, okay, so these are the people that are following you in terms of fans, or the people who are going to see what you're tweeting. So it's already decreased value, and I don't believe that I should be working for that unless like you have something that can benefit me. And it's kind of shallow to say, but like
Mhm.
in the longevity of it, like if you're gonna send out beats, somebody who's not really that great, right? And they do something, and you understand it's really not that great, but you respect it because it's like, you know, it's creativity. You can respect
Mhm.
it. You're not really getting anything in terms of benefiting yourself of like engagement or like promotion or like, unless they bought it, of course.
Yeah.
in that sense, then yeah, you win because you got a commission from it. In sense, they
Hmm.
bought it, and at that point, like either it's good or bad. Like you don't really, I mean, you care if it's good or bad, but then again, I mean, it just lessens the situation in terms of you were just giving the beat
Hmm.
away,
Yeah.
right? And like that, just oh, sorry, I just went on a whole tangent, but like that whole thing, I just posted it, and it, that's that my most like engaged tweet right now has like 17 to 20,000 impressions, and it has like over
Hmm.
200 likes. Like people like
Sheesh.
40 people like like replied and gave their opinion quote tweet like, and I'm just like shoot, like I'm not like, I'm on my good day, I'm like maybe getting like maybe 10 15 likes, on
Yeah.
something. And even my music, like, and I'm gonna say something too, what I had messed up on in terms of how I branded myself all last year is I didn't post enough of my work. And
Hmm.
my thought process of why not I didn't do that was because I don't want to like have people see like my work constantly like pushed out onto the timeline and just make it seem more generic. And then, if I posted like infrequently or uh, just like basically like frequently, make maybe like one every week or like two every week or something like
Hmm.
that. That'll just like hold more value. So like people like actually see my work. They're like, oh, now I'm engaged. He doesn't really post that much. I'm gonna see what he has to offer
Yeah.
in sense of that. But and then again, like now when I post, like nobody really engages. I don't know if
Hmm.
that's just the algorithm on how Twitter presents it, or like just people just are burnt out on seeing everybody else's like engagement in terms of like
Yeah.
what they're working on. So that's kind of like a big problem I found that I have right now. So that's why I'm like I'm starting TikTok. I'm going
Hmm.
back to Instagram. I'm starting YouTube and stuff like that. I'm just trying to branch out now.
Yeah. And I've noticed that too. Like I want to say like the last 2 weeks, just video, like beat video or whatever video wise, it just hasn't been great at all.
Yeah.
Like usually on like a beat video, because I do pretty much one a day, and usually it like easily gets 400, 300 views, something like that. But like the past week, like it's just been barely scratching 120, 200, 90, 80. Like it's just so sporadic to where before it was pretty consistent, like 300, 400, 400, 500.
Your average of what you're pulling in.
Yeah. And it's weird because I've noticed it on mine. I know All Truth has been talking about it too. And just, I, f- I genuinely think it's summer that has been kind of affecting it all, just because more people are on at different times, later times, earlier. So I just think once everybody notices that, like, oh, this time is for summer instead of, the normal posting schedule that we have. So once everyone starts posting like earlier or at certain times, then the whole algorithm will get used to it.
And
And
then it'll cause a trend.
yeah.
Yeah, and I understand what you're talking about because again, like since we were getting into summer, you want to think about, well, what are the times that people are going to be on their phones? Yeah, about midday, around like lunchtime. Yeah, I'm on YouTube and stuff like that, but I'm not watching beat videos. I'm watching like
Mhm.
Apex and stuff like that, like something that interests me. That
Mhm.
um, so like you have to think like, okay, so people, they're, I know I'm on TikTok a lot. So like I'm
Mhm.
just through TikTok like either before I go to bed or like I'm on YouTube before I go to bed. Or I'm in the morning, like I don't know. So I mean, yeah, you have to just, it's kind of like stocks. Like you have to
Yeah.
watch for certain things and kind of like predict like the trends,
Mhm.
or in this case, I mean, YouTube's algorithm is always changing,
Yep.
is always changing. So you kind of have like a system. It was easy to predict like before COVID because like during school, people like had, when kids were in school, like you had a set schedule. Like, you probably get most of your traffic towards the kids during the afternoon, the night,
Mhm.
versus during the day. It's probably, the adults.
Yeah. Like
Or
for
stuff.
during school, I always knew 3 o'clock. I knew a lot of schools come out at 3, so I'd post
Exactly.
either my YouTube tutorial video at 3 or like my beat snippets at 3, and they'd be fine. But now it's like, okay, I tweet because usually mornings are pretty dead for me. But like I tweet something out in the morning like a few days ago, and it got like 20 likes. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Mhm.
But then like the next day I'll post something like the same time, doesn't get as much engagement, and then like I'll tweet something out like the next hour, and it does the same numbers as it did the other day.
I think
So
it's
it's
tough. I think it's tough because sorry to cut you off, but I think it's tough because like even since the beginning, I would say about mid last year,
Mm-hmm.
um, people are inside, they have nowhere to go, so they're on their phones. Yeah, you're getting more engagement in those times, right? But I think at this point, like people are just done.
Yeah.
People are done in terms of like just staying on their phones all the time because the state of California just opened up yesterday. Well, we opened up 100% basically in terms of
Jeez. Yeah.
our mask mandate is non-existent. Of course, each company like for the statewide, you can go outside and legally have your
Mm-hmm.
mask off, but for businesses, they're still slowly transitioning into, and they're trying to get methods on how to determine people are not vaccinated and in
Mm-hmm.
terms of people are vaccinated. So a lot of people are going outside, you
Yeah.
know, and go to the beach and go on vacation. So not technically, I mean, they're going to be on their phone, but they're not going to be on their phone as much as they are. And I think
Yeah.
they don't want to be because they're burnt out of being on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
To be completely honest,
Yeah.
crazy. And kids were using their laptops. They're constantly using the internet, either watching TV videos, playing video games, or doing school.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the same people that are for your reach, if that's a certain age demographic or a certain people in area, like they're onto better things right now, and it's kind of tough for
Oh yeah,
content
for
creators.
sure.
But those are things I think you have to think about in terms of like trying to kind of gauge or like predict what are the best times for you, because what you said, like one day it was popping and then the other day at the same time is not. Now you have to kind of ask yourself like what made this different from the other day. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I don't know.
One thing I have noticed that I completely forgot about today is that Wednesdays are usually the worst days. Just kind of overall that I've noticed, like over Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everything. Just engagement wise, for some reason, Wednesdays are just not there. At least for me, and I've know a few other people kind of have said the same thing. But like I went through my like all my videos that I have on Instagram and Twitter, and every Wednesday have always performed lower than any other day of the week.
And you've never had like any indication of anything
Mm-mm.
I could
Like
possibly tell you why?
no, it's just consistently they Wednesdays for some reason do worse than any other day.
Shoot, I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe the internet's trying to take a break, bro,
I
on a
know, right?
schedule. Shoot, I don't know.
But moving on from that, we
Okay.
have um, I know there is nowadays at least there've been so many like collectives, groups that's formed, and you're part of the Umbrella Collective, right?
Yes.
So how did that kind of come together?
Okay, so shoot, how did that come together? I was in a group chat. I forget where it was, what it was. It was like shoot, it was like a chat that Haro-san made. It was the producer chat
Hmm.
when it was the original. Like this is when I was like at like 500, 600 followers or something like that.
Jeez.
And this was like maybe mid 2019, so it was a while ago. Anyway, this chat was created, and then towards November of um 2019, there was one guy in there. His name was Empty Annex, and it was Geist, produced by Geist or Matt.
Hmm.
And I didn't really know him too much. I just knew kind of like what kind of music he was into, and it was kind
Hmm.
of like that like hardcore, like
Yeah, the
aggressive, like hard drums and shit like that.
mhm.
And like and then I was like into that. I was like, yo, I was like I can make beats like that. That was cool. And then I think at that moment I was trying to get like some sort of like belonging somewhere. I was drifting,
Hmm.
and I was in the transitionary period, or like yeah, period of where like I had a substantial amount of following, but like I didn't have like any direction what to do.
Hmm.
And guys was like, hey, like I'm making a collective, like submit your work if you want to, anybody submit their work if they want to join. I was like,
Yeah.
cool. I was like, well, what do I have to join, or what do I have to lose? So I did it, and then I got in, and yeah, it was Umbrella Corporation, or not corporation, collective. That's funny. Because I keep thinking of Resident Evil, which is kind of loosely based on no copyright intended, but
We'll bleep it
um,
out. No
yeah,
worries.
I'll leave it out. But yeah, since then, bro, we've had like a lot of people come in there. but then we understood that there was some people that were not a good match and they're just in it to be in it. And they had to weed themselves out because they'll just leave over time. So now we only have 4 members. It's me, Geology or Trevor. Um, it is Ari Rose. Well, that's for no Ari Rose, and then there's Scotty the Reaper, or
I have
Preston.
him on this in I think 2 weeks. I think
Yes,
that's when we're doing it.
yeah. He was asking. He was all like, he's like, did you set up a date yet? And I was like, not yet. And then you hit me up afterwards. After that, I was like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, like that's who is in it now. But like, Um, yeah, they do like music. Like Geology does like really cool like different like music, like for like maybe like game soundtracks or like maybe a movie or cinematic in his own way. Like it's really weird in terms of like his sound is like very outside of the box and creative, but I
Yeah.
like it a lot. It's cool. Um, Geist or Matt, he does like some really hard hitting like I don't know, just like grunt, like grimy stuff, like grimy. And then who is it? Ari does kind of like the same way, but he's like more of an artist. And then Scotty is a producer too, but he does his own, vocals and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But and it's funny because like out of like everybody in the group, I feel like I'm just the most versatile in terms of sound, and I'm not just like flexing over them. Like they agree also. It's just I can do what the music that they do, but I'm more of like a more well-rounded terms of terms of producer, where I'll make something where it's very 80s synth pop, and then I'll do like some styles that Geist does, or like I'll
Yeah.
do some, very like melodic, like Polo G type stuff. Like I'm just everywhere. Like I can't stick with like a niche of sound. It
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be it has to be like different because I have ADHD, or the ADD part is just like it's like we'll be talking and then it'd be like, yo, a squirrel will be like, hey, something like that. So it has to be different for
Yeah.
that. But that's basically where we're at as like a collective. We're actually going to be releasing a tape pretty soon actually, and on the tape, usually what we do for our monthly tapes are like we'll take like 2 beats and each person made, and we'll put it up like as a mashup as like a SoundCloud post. But this time we're actually be doing like flips, so we'll take like an acapella of like a song and then we'll make a custom beat around it, and then we'll do a mashup that, and we'll be posting that to kind of like just show like our versatility in terms of
Yeah.
working with an actual vocal for that. So yeah,
It's kind of fire.
that's basically it. We're kind of like on the low key right now. We're just
Yeah.
minding our own business because I guess they're, I don't know, like we have like for whatever reason we have like just like a magnet of drama, but I feel like that's just like kind of like the people that we hung around, which we don't hang around with anymore on the internet. Yeah, we're definitely a lot better, but we were not doing that great, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like last year, like we were caught up in drama with people who were like now are not in there, and yeah, we were beefing with people. Like I wasn't personally beefing, but it was like a reflection of myself, and it wasn't really that great in terms of, you know, what kind of person I am, and then it's just showing like giving the facade of that's kind of who I am, but it's not.
Yeah. It's like more of that. Oh, it's like you're associated, so people are like, oh, you are part of
Too
this, and they're
associated.
doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
So.
yeah. So yeah, I was kind of like low key bad for business. So we had to like step back and reassess ourselves. Be like, okay, so why the heck are we actually in here doing this? And then, like at first when I went in there, it was just like people that, my collective mates, and that was it. But now, like over time, like I actually like have like relationships with these people. Like I haven't met Matt, and he lives in Oregon. I live in California, but I've met Trevor or Geology. He lives like 15 minutes down the freeway, a couple
Jeez.
cities
Yeah.
over. So like he's come to my house, I've come to his house. We've gone to the beach, we've gone to place together. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
more so it's gone beyond like actual like collective mates in terms of that. It's like more so like these are my homies,
Yeah.
and that's why we click so much more so much more better than I feel like I see some of these people in these collectives just to be in a collective, like how I
Yeah.
originally was. Yeah. Yeah, it's just we're a lot more tighter than I guess most people.
I feel like because we had this group session, and we like 16 people come down to Dallas,
I saw that, bro.
and
That stuff
it
looked
was
good as
crazy.
hell.
Yeah, and like you said, it was like it just made it kind of go deeper than knowing each other off Twitter, being like same groups or whatever. Because now we're actually like Drake's over in Oklahoma, that's like 3 hours away from me. So me and him talk every now and then about like he's like, yo, come up this weekend. I just got this new house. We're all moved in. Like I'm throwing this party for the house or whatever. Come over. And I'm like, all right, cool. I know you. Like I've been in the same room with you in person now, and like we've talked and everything. And we're super close. So now I'm like able to go drive up to him, hang out with All Truth, and just
Yeah, because they live very close to each
hmm
other. Yeah,
and so now it's
that's
it's
pretty cool.
super cool just because I know so many more people that like I've talked to on Twitter, but now I know them and have like a real life connection with them.
Because I mean, you see their face on the internet, but like you actually see their
Hmm.
face, and that just makes it definitely makes the difference because again, exactly what you said. Now it's not just an internet acquaintance or internet
Hmm.
homie. Now it's actually IRL.
Yeah.
And that definitely makes a difference. Now there is a deeper connection now, because now you're more willing to, you know, I'm sure like if you haven't met him in person, you'd be like, yeah, I don't know about driving 3 hours, homie, type of situation,
Yeah.
But now like you're like, okay, like I'm gonna hang out with Drake and All Truth. I've met them
Hmm.
before. It's substantial. I'm more willing to make that effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how I
And
feel.
do you think for like you said because you had like a substantial following, but you kind of didn't have like a place. Do you think for like a lot of these other producers who kind of feel the same way that collectives are kind of the way to go, trying to find like a collective that that kind of match your style or your personality?
Yeah, most definitely. For I mean, just whatever you're into, just find a niche. But then again, like for myself, I wouldn't say like I found a niche. I'm just like all over the place. So I think that's kind of
Hmm.
like some part of my downfall because I'm too scatterbrained. I'm all over the place instead of situated. But at the same time, like in the past year, like before 2020, I didn't really notice like a lot of collectives, and now like I
Hmm.
just see over abundance of collectives. So like I'm
Yeah.
not too sure if that's actually the wave anymore in
Hmm.
terms of collective, since everybody just seems to be in a collective,
Hmm.
right? It's just like the same thing where like there's a period of time, when the SoundCloud just started popping up until now, like how many more people actually started producing.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same situation. So I guess. I mean, if that works for you, you can at least, if you've never done it before, I think it's definitely you should try just because not even just for the sense of belonging, it's a really good social experience in terms of like,
Hmm.
if you're not really used to talking with people over the internet, like you can, really make like relationships and with people and then bring that into like how you go about marketing yourself in terms of like, oh, I know like the expectations of like, what the general person wants in terms
Hmm.
of like their sound, or like maybe I can recreate that and translate that to somebody else's like needs and wants,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, it's good and it's bad, in my opinion. But like
Hmm.
for the most part, the social aspect, it's definitely a plus. Like
Yeah.
you need that to network to find new people. Sometimes
Yeah.
it doesn't. Sometimes it don't work. I mean, like again, the same situation. Like I'm a lot better talking with people nowadays than I was a year and a half ago, and I still get turned down. But
Hmm.
that just means like I don't spend too much energy or effort into those people. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let me get to the next person because
Yeah.
you know, uh, anything can happen at any moment. You just need to
Hmm.
keep it pushing.
True, true, true. And that like you said, it helps with networking and everything. Has that helped you, or it has helped you? But how much has it helped you, kind of getting those placements, those credits, and everything?
Um, it helped me actually quite a bit. I didn't really know what the heck I was doing about mid until mid year last year.
Hmm.
But by at that time, like I had gotten uh there was I had gotten shoot, I was in Digital Dior at one time.
No way.
Yeah, Sunny on the Beat. Yeah, his Digital
Really?
Dior. I was on Digital Dior. I was only signed for a week, but then for like reasons I can't. I mean, there wasn't really a reason. It's just like I just decided like it wasn't the best fit for me. Like that's
Hmm.
not what I wanted. So like I talked with Sunny, and then You know, we just ended the contract. There was like no bad blood. Like he's still like he still has my back and stuff like that. Like I
Mm-hmm.
talked with him, but like, um, like so much has happened from that, and I really didn't know what I was doing. And shoot, man, I've had like connections with this artist Dre TG. I've known him for over a year. I found him over just like networking, like on he found me or something like that, and
Mm-hmm.
like that was like one of my longer standing clients, and he's still my client.
Yeah.
Um, and like I met Poppy through Digital Dior and Sunny, and we have a track coming out that we had collabed on a year ago that's coming out with one of my local artists like this month, towards the end of this month,
Yeah.
right? So like I wouldn't say like I've had like a lot of like in terms of like a lot of consistent placement. Like I have stuff that's happening, but like then again, it's just like the waiting game because
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten placements and nothing too notable, but I've gotten placements where like they're hard and I have a copy of it, but I can't release it in due to respect to the the artist,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have a right, technically speaking, but then again, it wouldn't be respectful. So
Yeah.
like I'm sitting on that, and I may not even ever hear that come out, and it may just get shelved. So I mean, there's just like a lot of variables that go into terms of that. So yeah, definitely it's helped me a lot. But then
Mm-hmm.
again, like if how can I show you it's helped me a lot in terms of like these placements where like these creations of these artists releasing stuff like over my content. If they never drop it, and I think that's the big issue that I'm going right now because I have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
unreleased music that has not dropped, and it hurts in terms of like my showing my experience or like showing basing my credits, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
my signature is like my signature's on like a lot of stuff, but like if there's no one else to like hear it except for myself, like what's the point? Like it may not even been worth it to be recorded on,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
That's
Yeah,
true. I think that's like the worst thing, just being a producer in general, is like you send a beat pack to like an artist and they send back like two songs and they're fire, but they just don't release it. And there's nothing you can really do because like you said, it's not like you have a right, but to the respect of the artist, it's their song and
yeah,
not yours to release. So you're
yeah,
just sitting on a bunch of unreleased songs that you produced that you don't know if they're ever going to be released, or like the artist's like, yeah, I'm going to put that on like this project, but you don't know what the project's going to be, when it's going to drop either, and everything like that.
yeah. Because that song with Poppy that I collab
Mm-hmm.
with, I had released that about around this year or around this time, so like June, July, and one of my artists, his name is Big for Show. He was like, I had posted a snippet out, and he hit me up like 10 minutes later and was like, "Hey, bro, I want that beat." And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "All right, bet I'm gonna send it to you right now." And I sent it to him, and he sent me like something he recorded then and there. Like it took a matter of like 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
under 2 hours of since posting the snippet. And he's like, "Hey, bro, like this is gonna be on my next album." He didn't tell me when the album was gonna happen, or like so like I was just like, okay, like it'll drop when it will drop.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot about it until he hit me up a year later and was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, bro, like he finally the feature on like finally sent it back 'cause it's not mixed and stuff." So he sent me a rough edit of like like a rough mix, and it
Mm-hmm.
sounds cool. And he's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be released towards the end of the month." And I was like, "Cool." I hit up Poppy, got Poppy's information in terms of like the BMI information, sent it to Big for Show. He's got that locked in, and that's how the business worked. But
Yeah.
then again, like it happened like a year from when it originally started for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also want to make a very good point in terms of difference. Like if you give an artist a beat, then yeah, I think it's better solidified in the justification that you can release the song, but you're not going to do it because out of like common courtesy or like
Yeah.
respect. But if they do buy it, you technically cannot, like you cannot like release it because like it's like yeah, they bought a lease for it. Now they have the choice if they want to release
Mm-hmm.
it or not.
Yeah.
So I just
It's
want to make
more out of your hands once they buy
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, if you gift a beat, then yeah, most definitely. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
a rule of equality in terms of situation. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is there anything else you wanna discuss before we roll out to this outro?
Oh yeah, yeah. Real quick. Okay, so you know about Rich Illuminati, but my name is Nathaniel Larson. I live in Southern California in
Hmm.
a city called Ontario, which is crazy because I have a lot of followers who think I'm in Canada.
I thought you were in Canada too.
No, I'm in Southern California. I work in customer service as a technical advisor in a dental laboratory.
Hmm.
And basically, what I do on the phone is any issue, question, or any information at all that needs to be said from the production where they make the fake teeth,
Hmm.
appliance, whatever we're doing, to the dentist. That's my job, and then vice versa from the dentist to my production. And I have to critical think and problem solve, come
Hmm.
up with solutions and answers to people's questions. So I talk with people all day, and sometimes it's tough. So.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
yeah, that was a little bit like in depth of the background of actually like
Yeah,
who that guy am. So
that's funny because I've been I have two fake teeth right here,
okay,
and I got implants like temporary implants right now, and I was supposed to get my permanents, but there's been an issue every single time I've gone to get them put in, and it's like the first time they had them, but they weren't like the right shade of color, and then the next time they had them, but they didn't fit right, so they had to send them back, and it's just been so I'm like I don't even want permanence anymore. Just let it be. I'm tired of going to the place and then coming back with like no new teeth and then going there and then coming back with no new teeth over and over again.
I'm not gonna cap to you, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100. That's actually that's basically what I have to deal with, bro.
Hmm.
And I have dentists call me and they're like, "Yo, the same situation, like, what's up?" And I have to tell them what's up, and sometimes I don't know what's up. So like,
Hmm.
I have to figure it out, bro. And it's tough. So I
Yeah.
understand exactly, because like I feel for some these patients, like, you know, and I understand because I'm a consumer as well. Like, if I were to get one of my tooth fixed, like I want it to be like the one and done. Now
Yeah.
you're having to go through like multiple trips to the dentist, and
Hmm.
like you said you're just done with the situation. Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
patients are done with the situation, so I
That's
feel you.
crazy. Yeah.
Also, my favorite Pokemon is Gengar.
Fire.
Yeah,
Fire choice. Oh, that's sick.
yeah, it's the bike links. I got this in Venice Beach.
Huh. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Okay, quick question for you before we end this: Yamaha or KRK?
Ooh, I have Case, but
I have KRKs too.
but Willa at Willa Wanda, he brought his um his HS8s. I don't know what brand that is. I'm pretty sure that's
HS8s. It's not
yeah.
Yamaha. It's
It's
shoot, bro. I got you. Hold on.
yeah. He brought those to the Dallas trip, and they were
It's
crazy.
Yamaha. It is
It's
Yamaha.
Yamaha. Yeah, that's what I thought. And those are crazy.
Yeah, they're white ones, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, if I had to choose between like my KRKs or those,
I'm gonna
like
the
same
Yamahas.
size and everything, I would go with the Yamaha. But right now, definitely KRKs, just because that's what I'm using and they've
It
worked
sounds
great.
more nice.
Hmm.
Because, but they're just like they're a lot more accommodating to making things sound better than they are. I feel
Hmm.
like, and the HS8s are more so tuned to actually like acute like mixing.
Yeah, it's more just. I feel like
Cut
KRKs are
and
more
dry.
just kind of commercial use
Mhm.
rather than like institutional use, if that makes sense.
Bro, I use
Like,
these like whenever I have barbecues. I use my carrot case.
really?
Not gonna like, yeah, just because they bump.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
the
do. When I have my
Yamaha,
friends over, I do the same thing.
uh, yeah, because my Focusrite is called a Focusrite eye track. So I have
Hmm.
this cord that plugs in the back and it plugs into my iPhone, and I can just play my
Oh,
Spotify straight from my Air KRKs like that way.
never
So
thought of that. Hmm, that's pretty cool.
yep.
All right, so the way we end these off is I got three questions for you.
Okay.
Super easy questions. You ready?
Yes.
All right. First one is in 2 words. Describe your style.
Versatile.
I feel like someone's already said that one.
uh, uh, freaking weird.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Second question is, if you could listen to an album for the first time again, which one would it be?
Good Kid, Mad City, hands down. I love that album. Uh, Shireen, Master Splinter's Daughter.
Hmm.
That's the track, man. That was a good song, especially when I
I
was high as hell in the car.
I feel like because I didn't really get into like the production side of stuff for a while. Like I started getting into like 2016, but didn't really take it serious until like 2018, 2019. And so like a lot of like the albums that are like super great, super crazy, that like people's first listen to, it's like, bro, this is the best album ever. Like my first listen wasn't like crazy just because I didn't appreciate it like I do now. So like there's so many albums I wish I could go back and listen to for the first time, like with my appreciation that I have now. Like I think
Or YG, My Crazy Life. That was crazy too. That was a good
that
one.
I remember when that dropped, that was crazy too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like mine definitely would be um Graduation by Kanye.
Kanye.
I feel like
Actually,
cuz
bro, I'm saying like artists that are here West Coast. Okay, so if I'm thinking non-California, it would be definitely be Logic's album Under Pressure. That was a fantastic album. And then anything after that, I just thought it was really corny.
I could see that.
Not
That's a lot of
sure.
people's opinion.
It's just because he went too mainstream. Like he was on the border of like under like at the top of underground Under Pressure,
Hmm.
but that was really his breakthrough album.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, and the last question is, what advice do you have for other producers?
Um, think differently
Hmm.
for that. Um, be who you want to be in terms of um, don't. I mean, it's very cliche, but just don't think about what other people are thinking because if people don't like it and they're not messing with you or they don't like you, then there's people who will. So that's kind of how what I had to do to take a step back and like reevaluate, and it's working so far, and um, it definitely does make the change because there's a lot of people that don't follow me now. But even more so, the people that don't follow me, I've had way more people follow me because
Hmm.
they like what I'm doing. So yeah, just be different, um, but take inspiration from things. Just don't straight up copy people. I've seen that a lot
Hmm.
nowadays, especially in those TikTok videos where like they're doing the drums and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, bro, that's so tough. So tough. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and just be fun, just have fun with it. I mean, decide what you want to do, and if that's really what you want to do, then set a period and come back to the same question you have, or ask yourself the same questions at a period of time, and I'm just keep it in check because once you just keep doing it and you're just like a locomotive train, you keep going, like I
Hmm.
did, you'll burn yourself out, and either like it'll be good or it'll be bad for you.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Perfect. So, I'm gonna be sending over a Underground Stars season 3 sticker over to you, and it was
Okay.
fun, man. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. It was about time that we did something like this.
Feel it, bro. I've done like interviews before, but like I don't know. I feel like from my last interview, I feel like I've just had so much more stuff happen in
Hmm.
terms of like stuff that went on, and then I haven't let people know about. And then I don't know, just in general. Like I've been on the like in behind this. I've been doing like a lot of behind the scenes. I just
Hmm.
been more recently in the last couple months like releasing stuff, and I got into like doing remaking like songs like how I would have remade the beat
I've
for the
seen
song,
that.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I just thought that was just something that I did, to be interesting. That was just interesting. Like I was
Hmm.
interested to do it, and then now I'm starting to work with like acapellas and making custom beats around that. And that's
Hmm.
cool, you know.
Yeah.
I just like redid like Alan Walker faded acapella with a custom beat.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool. So
That's fire. But all your all your ats are on the same on everything, right?
no, my Twitter is Illuminati Richie, or you just search Rich Illuminati. I'm substantial enough on the algorithm now. I'll just be the first one that pops up.
Hmm.
On Instagram, it's all lowercase. It's Rich underscore Illuminati. I'm
Hmm.
starting to post there. My YouTube is Rich Illuminati. Don't have a substantial amount following there, but I'm starting getting that. My TikTok is Rich Illuminati as well, I guess, for that. And I do have like at least like 45 to 50 followers or something. I don't know. I'm starting to get into that too. But
Yes, sir. Perfect.
yeah.
So all his links, all the links and everything's gonna be down in the description below. Make sure you go follow him, check out everything, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And yeah, thanks again, man. It was really great.
Peace out, bro.
And we will let's see. Today's what? Today's Wednesday. Cool. So yeah, we will catch y'all next week. I'm pretty sure I don't want to finish this sentence because I don't know my own schedule on who's next. I want to say we have. I don't want to say anything.
Scotty's the last one. I know he's the last week.
Okay. So, I still don't. We will catch on next week.
Catch you next week's episode.
Whoever it is, yes sir. Whoever it is, we will catch on next week. Thank you for listening and watching.
Annotations up.